What's up, plant people? My name is Ashley, and if you did not know, this is my YouTube channel about plant videos. And today I will be talking about the Monstera Adansonii, specifically the narrow variety. So this is my plant right here. I've actually had it not that long. I have another plant too that I've had longer, but it's outside of my plant room. But this one I've had for probably like half a year, and it is just constantly putting out new growth even in the winter time, which is cool. Not that there's much of a winter in Florida anyways, but even while it was cold, it was still doing great. The Monstera Adansonii is native to Central and South America, and it has also been known to bloom, but pretty much only in the wild, and the bloom is of a purple color. You can probably assume, based off of where it is originally from, that this plant would prefer a humid environment. As far as sunlight goes, I have noticed that it pretty much does prefer direct sunlight, but not all day long. I have mine sitting in a patio room that is slightly covered, so it pretty much is shaded all day, but it does have sunlight coming in from all four corners of the room. As far as watering goes, this plant is pretty forgiving. I have noticed that in the winter months here in Florida that I have only had to water it maybe once every 3 to 4 weeks. But in the summertime to springtime, it's definitely a solid 1 to 2 waterings every 1 to 2 weeks. And also, when you are watering, you should always use a water meter if you do have one available. But if you don't, just stick your finger in there, and if it is still slightly damp but not dry yet, then you are good to go ahead and water it. But if it is still wet, you don't want to water it again, because that of course will lead to root rot or the plant just being overwatered and then eventually wilting. This plant also can vine. People do it on moss poles all the time. Mine is not on a moss pole. It's actually kind of vining down at this point, which I think looks pretty cool. If I wanted to, I could probably take it and put it up a moss pole like this, but I have it hanging, so instead it's going to come down. And then of course the beautiful holes in the plant. How could you not love that? The Monstera deliciosa the Monstera that is next to me, it has, you know, the holes in it like a typical Monstera, but this one, the leaves are more shaped like a pothos or a philodendron that is smaller, and then it has the little tiny holes on the inside. So it's just a really pretty plant, and I also like how it glistens. A good tip to have your Adansonii kind of sparkle or glitter would be to wipe down the leaves, and that pretty much goes with any plant. It'll help sunlight get to it better just by wiping off that layer of dust, and then just help with production of growth. Another thing I wanted to mention in this video was how I propagate my Adansonii. So I have a jar right here with what I normally have it propagating in. I actually have a couple different bottles throughout my house propagating. This one stays on my kitchen windowsill, and then I also have one down here. I have just a couple other places where I have some propagating. So that should tell you just how easy it is. So basically what I do is cut right below the node, and you will see where the node is because there's kind of like a little line across the stem going horizontally. You just cut below that, put it in some water, and keep it near a light source. Make sure that the water is covering the node, because it will evaporate after time or soak in, and then before you know it, you'll have roots after a few weeks, and then you'll be able to transfer to soil and get a new plant. Another thing that I did want to mention is that this plant is toxic to dogs and cats. It won't necessarily kill them, but it will make them vomit. I read online that it was because of the insoluble calcium, the amount of insoluble calcium in the leaves that causes them to vomit. But still, that's no fun for the animals, so just be aware of that. If they begin to chew on them or anything like that, just try to get it away. I have quite a few animals. I have to figure out new tactics every day to keep them away from my plants. So I understand the struggle 100%. So if you like this video, just give it a thumbs up, or you can leave a comment if you want to. I will leave my Instagram down below and right here as well. And then also I do have an Etsy and a Depop as well if you'd like to go ahead and check those out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one.